Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and we return to Knights of the Old Republic. So, we've been talking a lot about Mass Effect, a lot of BioWare, really, in the scheme of things. I got a Dragon Age video scheduled, so we've got a lot happening in the BioWare space, but one of them is the continuation of what I personally believe is the best product they've ever created, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So there's going to be a bit of a recap in this video because I think a lot of people are about to hop on the KOTOR bandwagon, because I am pretty much 100% certain I have narrowed down who is working on the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic reboot or remake, whatever you want to call it. And in today's video, I want to document all of the findings, a lot of the new discoveries I've made, present them to all of you. But for those of you who have just hopped on or know nothing about this, I want to present the entire story. So to some of you out there, I do apologize if I have to repeat some information you're familiar with, but I think it'll be important so you can see the step-by-step nature and really buy in that the developer of the Knights of the Old Republic remake or reboot is Aspyr Media. So let's get into exactly why this is the case. Now, I have done this entire thread already on my Twitter account. By the way, feel free to follow me at G27status if you really feel like it. I wouldn't mind. That'd be pretty cool. Get to interact a little bit more. But seriously, I already did a thread there, and I wanted to go ahead and put it in video form here today. So let's go. So let's start off with who Aspyr Media is. By the way, I said that name wrong for an entire video. So if anyone from that studio watched my video or you're watching it now, I apologize. I'm very sorry. I said Asper the whole time, and then sometimes I misspeak and go Aspyr. Okay, Maddie. Anyway, for those unfamiliar with Aspyr Media, they have worked most notably, in my opinion, or at least more pertinent in this case, on the KOTOR mobile ports. So Knights of the Old Republic 1, Knights of the Old Republic 2 were ported to mobile, so you can play them on your tablet, on your phone, and this was done by this team. Now, more importantly and more relevant is that they also introduced the amazing KOTOR 2 update to Mac, Linux, and Windows, which featured brand new achievements, Steam Cloud saves, native widescreen resolution support, which can support up to 4 and 5K, controller support, Steam Workshop support, where they work directly with mod makers to bring in the restored content mod, which is crazy because that's pretty much necessary, in my opinion, to play KOTOR 2. It comes with a bunch of bug fixes, cut content. It's insane. It's amazing that they actually went to this length. So the big point here is that they have been working on Knights of the Old Republic more than literally anyone within the last decade, okay? Most notably, the last 5 years with their ports and, of course, this big KOTOR 2 update. Now, fingers crossed, and this may explain why they haven't yet, but I do hope one day they give the same KOTOR 2 treatment to KOTOR 1. That would be incredible. But with all of that out of the way, now you know who Aspyr is. Currently, according to job listings on their very own website, they are working on a AAA role-playing game. Now, there's no coincidence there, but anyway, let's continue moving on. To set up the now, let's go back to 2017. So if you've been around here for a while and you've been suffering with me for years, well, first of all, God bless your soul. I appreciate you for sticking with me. But number two is that BioWare was originally working on a reboot. It was BioWare Austin, the studio who did the Star Wars, the Old Republic MMO, a MMO that I continue to be impressed with its storytelling abilities. But anyway, that studio was originally going to reboot Knights of the Old Republic. But then, according to Jason Schreier, that project got put into stasis. So it got completely removed, and then BioWare Austin went on to support Anthem. Now, we all know how Anthem turned out, but at this point in time of reporting the story, where we had been reading about this KOTOR reboot, we had no idea what it was. I mean, isn't it crazy, the butterfly effect? Imagine if they just went forward with KOTOR and they just dropped Anthem. Isn't that wild to think about? But anyway, they chose Anthem, so the project never saw the light of day. What's interesting is since then, Aspyr has been hiring major, notable employees from BioWare Austin and then putting them at head positions: lead writer, animation lead, principal narrative designer. These are major positions in a studio, and all of them have come from BioWare Austin. Not only that, but they are long-standing BioWare Austin employees, which means absolutely 100% they were there on the ground floor working on whatever KOTOR reboot was happening. So for them to hire all that talent and be working on a AAA RPG was a bit of a head scratcher in the first place. But of course, Maddie continued to dig, and this story does indeed develop. Ever since the Bethesda deal, a lot of companies have been approaching big publishers, big groups, and saying, hey, we'll sell to you. Because at the end of the day, what we're seeing is, in the case of Microsoft, not much is changing when they bought something as big as Bethesda, a major investment like that. And we're seeing that for the most part across the board. So a lot of companies are saying, hey, we can release a game and not fire half our staff afterwards because we can't hold them up after all of the assets have been poured into game development. There's a big financial backing with that. It's a little more calm, cool, collected. You can keep those same heads who worked on one IP, bring them into another. A lot of benefits really to selling your company off to a much bigger group who can help keep you financially stable, and you can sort of keep this healthy system going. Now, we've seen a couple of companies sell off to the Embracer Group. One of them is the very popular Gearbox Software, who's best known for Borderlands, and now Aspyr is one of the companies that sold themselves to Embracer Group, which just has like 60 plus developers now. It's kind of crazy to think about, but there was a press conference, and I'm just going to let the video speak for itself here. So let's go ahead, roll the clip, and then we'll discuss.
Are capable of doing anything. They're capable of doing original IP. They're capable of taking existing property and porting it. Right now, the focus is on two different things. One of the focuses is going to be on to continue their core business because it's been so successful for them, to expand that core business utilizing external resources so that we can, get those numbers even higher, and we can get more product out to market. And they also have some big internal projects that we can't really discuss right now that are based off of IP, but that set us up well for doing additional new big product. Whether it's going to be independent or IP based depends upon the creative decisions that we make, because the team is capable of doing both. But right now the focus is on licensed IP. I think there's a real opportunity in the market for that. I think we proved that with World War Z, where we took a licensed IP and we just did wonders with it, and it's still selling in great numbers. And these guys have access to IP, which is substantially more wide-reaching than that. Without saying more, I just heard Lars go this clear his throat. So I think that I think we got a big future ahead of us on not only the core business, but on future things as well.
So the most notable word here is that they're working on a big internal project, AAA role-playing game, based on an IP. That speaks for itself right there, okay? Once again, we look at all the surrounding pieces I presented. That speaks for itself. He also mentions that there's a great opportunity and that they're going to be focusing on licenses. Star Wars. So this may seem like a stretch to you, right? And I could understand that, but I feel like a lot of my findings have presented themselves, and I think they are very favorable in the idea that Aspyr, I did it right there. I knew that I'd do it this video at least once. Aspyr is working on KOTOR. But here's what I call the icing on the cake moment, right? All of this to you may just be speculation, but what if I brought you a trusted reporter to pretty much confirm that Aspyr is making this game? Over on Reset Era, there were fans who were watching this very press conference happen, and Embracer just confirmed in a live stream presentation that Aspyr is working on a AAA licensed title. That's the KOTOR confirmation, to which Jason responds to it going, obviously, clear as day, pretty big hint, but there is more. So then someone said, you said we never guess. And Jason says, I don't think a single person in that thread guessed this. So pretty much as clear as day there, in my opinion. Aspyr is working on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic's reboot, remake, remaster, what have you. So with that in mind, let's discuss. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Now, I know a lot of you out there know I'm a big KOTOR fan, which is, you may have noticed I kind of tried to go light on the jokes and the goofiness in this video because I'm presenting a lot of data at once, and I kind of wanted the focus to be there. And I wanted this to be taken seriously because I think this is where the future lies with KOTOR. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? I personally receive it as a good sign. You have a company that has spent a lot of years familiarizing themselves with the property, right? We've seen them tinker and tinker. The HD remaster sort of update over on PC really speaks for itself, and I think including mod support shows that they have a fundamental understanding of what made, say, KOTOR 2 such a great game, right? It was a lot of the fan work that was very important to people, and they understood that, so they pay attention to the community. I would not be surprised if they've seen my videos at some point in time, and I don't say that out of ego, but I say that genuinely speaking because it seems like they get it. And they do seem to care about the license, because those mobile ports, which could have easily been tossed out onto the market, hey, it's Star Wars, Go buy it, you idiot. And guess what? They turned out pretty damn good. And a lot of people like them. I've played the ports. They're fantastic. It's a good way to play the game. You can't really say that much nowadays. And so I think there's a level of care there, and most importantly, a level of understanding. This does also make me wonder at times about whether or not this is Old Republic or High Republic. Now, I'll repeat what my sources told me, is that people are unsure exactly which direction they're going because things are very hush-hush right now, but it's very well possible it could be their own vision into the High Republic. This would make sense. You look at what Disney's doing. They're pretty much pushing the High Republic everywhere they can. A lot of people don't like it. I'm 9 chapters into Light of the Jedi. I dig it. I actually think the High Republic is pretty neat, but I know there are some things specific to the Old Republic that could not be done, that would be sorely missing. But still, I do like the universe that Disney has presented through their books so far. I still have to read the other one, the Darkness something. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, there's still more to read. There's still more for me to learn. There's still a whole book for me to finish at this point. So it's just early impressions. But I feel like with all the time spent on KOTOR, they really are the only studio that is knowledgeable in and out of what a KOTOR game is and what the Old Republic is without jamming their own viewpoints in there, right? Like, they have played the games, they have ported them, they have updated them, they've spent time with them. And I think that there says a lot, that they could just be taking their own approach to KOTOR. I would love, in a best case scenario, I've said this before, they do a remaster of 1 and 2, put them on console so everyone can experience them, preserve those games, and then give us the reboot. But if we're just getting the reboot, then I guess we'll have to be okay with 1 and 2 just existing on ancient systems for the most part. So these are just some of my findings here. So the new pieces to round it all out are what Jason Schreier said, which pretty much is teasing that, yeah, it's Aspire. And on top of that is the Embracer Group confirming this is a licensed game, it's a major IP, and that they are going to continue working on it, and it's a big internal project. So this is no small feat whatsoever, and I cannot wait to see when it's revealed, which, if we go back to Lucasfilm Games, should be sometime within the next year. So we'll be right on top of it. You know me. This is something that I'm going to be passionate as hell about. And of course, what this does is gives the community a place to look. That's the most important part. Now we know where to keep our eyes peeled. You know, those LinkedIns, all those job listings, stuff that really fuels speculations and accidental, like, oops, that shouldn't have been there. Now we're going to actually start to see some of that crop up now that we have a particular studio to focus on, which, let's be honest, it's pretty clear as day they're working on it. So with that, I present you my findings, and I leave you to discuss in the comments down below. What do you think of my investigation on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who support the hell out of the content here. Appreciate each and every single one of you, and I'll talk with you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.